We are in Yaakov, and we're in Brachot 57a1, and we're going to talk about the response from Kaddish. Okay? The response to Kaddish. So here we go. Ha'ona yehesh me rabba mevarach. One who in his dream responds to the Kaddish by saying Amen, may his great name be blessed. Muftach hu shu ben ha'olam haba. Then he is certain, you have it? 57a1. Okay, so he is assured that he is destined for the world to come. HaKorei Kriyat Shema, again, one in his dream, who reads the Shema. Ra'a shetishra alav shechina. Such a person is fit to have the divine presence rest upon him. Ela she'ein doro zechai lechach. But the generation in which he lives does not merit such glory to be experienced by one on his own. Hence, the blessing remains unrealized for him. Okay. So it says here in 6, the recitation of the Shema represents a complete acceptance of God's sovereignty. Thus, a dream in which one pictures himself reciting Shema must be taken as an intimation that the dreamer has achieved this lofty goal of submitting his will to God, and consequently is worthy of having the divine presence rest upon him. Again, all dreams here. Hamaniach tefillin b'chalom. If one sees himself laying tefillin in a dream, yitzapeh, he should anticipate rising to greatness, as it says in Deuteronomy, then all the peoples of the world will see that the name of God is called upon you, and they will be in awe of you. And certainly we learned in a Braita, Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol, Omer Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol said, Elu tefillin shabarosh, these items that will inspire this awe among the nations of the tefillin that are worn on the head. Why on the head? So he says the verse is taken to mean that when the Jews wear tefillin upon their heads, they rise above their enemies and inspire fear in their hearts. Tefillin inspire fear in Israel's enemy because a Jew who dons tefillin causes the divine presence to rest upon him. When other nations see this, they are awed by God's power and might, as to why Rabbi Elazar specifies the tefillin on the head as opposed to one's. Okay, so he says, see another place, I'll tell you what the thing is. When I wear the tefillin on my arm as compared to my head, what do? The one on my arm, I cover. Right? I'm pulling either my shirt over, or I'm wearing a jacket. The point is that I'm only seeing the one on my arm. The head, you should not put your talus down so far that you should see it. Everybody should see the tefillin on your head. Okay? Now here's another element, and this, you have to understand, what's it called? A little bit of mysticism here. That for those who do meditation, there's something called the aura, the electrical charge that surrounds our bodies. Apparently, it shoots out. Okay, if somebody could see, those who train themselves can see everybody's aura. Yeah, you can see it. If you want to try the experiment at home, what you do is you put your hands, go into a dark room, put your hands like this, close enough, and you'll see. They say, I've never seen it, you have to look at it, but look away at the same time.
Wouldn't have to be a 100% dark room, though, would it?
Yeah, you should be right. In the dark room, right? And then you would see the electricity flowing between or some people say they see a real glow.
Is there a certain kind of photography, I think, that can see this aura?
Yeah. Something like that, right? So I once asked Rabbi Sender, actually, from he's into this. So I said to him, I don't understand what's going on here. So he said that because we look straight at the person. I look straight at you. I don't look away from you, as it were, okay? That's how we do it. We're eye-to-eye contact. That's how we do it. If somebody doesn't have eye-to-eye contact, what do we think?
No.
He's what?
Disrespectful or afraid?
No, he's... Today, if I don't look you eye-to-eye, it means you're lying. You're not trustworthy. Because I can see from your eyes if you're trustworthy or not. That's what we believe. Okay? In the old days, by the way, in the times of the Ramban, if you looked at somebody's eyes, then you were disrespectful.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's why a humble person would look down.
Oh.
Humble person would look, not, glancing down, never look at the eyes.
And you never looked at the king.
Correct.
Okay,
But that's it, right. Kill him.
Yeah.
Because that's impertinence.
Yeah.
But today, it's the exact opposite. If I don't look at you in the eye, if I don't shake your hand, I'm not showing respect. If I go like this, I put your hand up and say, hey, how you doing? And I talk to
Guys looking away.
what kind of nonsense? You're looking at me, you're talking to me. It's a total lack of respect today. Total lack of respect. So that's why we all want to look at each other's eyes and more. Let's say I'm talking to you and suddenly I see you drifting off, your eyes moving, I say, okay, it's bored. And I walk away. I say, I'm sorry to bore you. And that we take a lot of those signals today that originally were not those signals. Okay, but here, as Rabbi Sender explained to me that all animals don't do that. They therefore they unfocus, as it were, and so they see the aura, whatever you want to call that, that glow of the animal, so they can see what we don't see. And that's interesting. And as a result, so again, if I unfocus, I have to unfocus my eyes, look at my hands, and I'll see this glow. Fine. By the way, if you train yourself, you can see it during the day. Okay. And that apparently is what people were doing. They were into that. So now they see us with our tefillin on, and since Hashem, as it were, His divine presence is resting upon us, we glow even more. There was one crazy story, I remember this, that the young lady was sitting by my Shabbos table, and she claimed to be able to see things. Okay, I've had other people like this too. And she said she was in a mall one time, and
Somebody told you this?
the girl's telling this story, and because she said she could talk to, dead people basically. Okay, and so this woman, this gypsy, old style gypsy, came to her in the mall, and said to her, I think she could speak Spanish. I think she could speak Spanish. I remember it was something, it wasn't English. And she said, oh, you have all these souls around you. Yeah, leave me alone. Okay, good.
The gypsy said that?
The gypsies, because the gypsies saw this apparently. And she said, I could see the angels. And yeah. Okay. And it was like the girl said, okay, thank you very much. And she was like, go away from me. I'm not interested. And yet she knew she said she could hear these people. And so, it's spooky. That's you have all these stories that go around. Who knows what's true and who knows what's not? I don't know. I could say she was a total nut. I don't think she was. I think she was being honest with what's going on. She seemed to be a normal girl, but you have these people who can sense certain things. And so here, what's going on here potentially is that people were trained to see the aura, and that would scare them. Imagine if I'm coming with such a glow, and you have much smaller glow. I have the power.
Oh boy.
So that's why. That's another way of understanding this sort of Gemara. And those who want to look in further, by the way, I would recommend Aryeh Kaplan. He in the Practical Guide to Meditation. I believe he talks about it there.
I think for animals to sort of focus away, one thing that I figured out and learned for gorillas and monkeys, if you look at them in the eye, especially the males, that's the contest of power.
Oh, okay. So if you look at the gorilla in the eyes, it's contest of power. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Again, it's all different cultures. It's what it is. If you look at a dog in the eyes, I think it's the same thing. No. If you look at the dog in the eyes, the dog, I don't know what happens.
If you wink, if I wink sometimes, if I look at my dog and I wink it, he'll wink his eye.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he's just trying to pay attention while blinking his eye. That last
Right. Okay.
And I think he thinks I'm trying to pay attention to him.
So let's go. Let's go on. So it says. Right. So Hamid Palel b'chalom. Let's say he sees himself davening in a dream. Good. Sivan Yafalo. So again, it's a favorable sign for him. Pahanimili delo Messiah. But this applies only when he does not complete the prayer before waking up. He says, when a dream pictures him praying and he does not betray him, reaching a conclusion to his prayers, the indication is that he is in close proximity to the divine and has not left Hashem's presence. Okay, very nice. So here you go, more dreams. Haba al ima b'chalom, one who cohabits with his mother in a dream. Yitzapeh levina, can anticipate understanding wisdom. Shnei Mars, it says, ki im lebina tikra, for if you call out to understanding. And it says, the word im, if, that appears in this verse may also be vocalized as aim, aleph mem, which would denote mother. The verse then can be can be seen as portraying a link between the symbol of mother and the quality of understanding. If Freud would get a hold of this Gemara, he would have a whole different understanding of one who sees himself cohabiting with his mother. Okay. Habal al hanara, if one cohabits with his betrothed Na'ara, Na'amarasa, Yitzapeh Torah, so he can anticipate attaining knowledge of the Torah. Shnei Mars says, Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Moshe commanded us the Torah. Morasha kihilot Yaakov. It is an inheritance for the assembly of Yaakov. Al tikre Morasha. Do not read the word Morasha, an inheritance, Ella me'ot rasa. Rather, pronounce the word as if it were spelled me'ot rasa, a betrothed one. So he says the Torah is not the only inheritance. It's not only the inheritance of Israel; it is also betrothed to Israel, joining the Jewish people to it as if through a marital bond. The expression al tikri. So now he goes, and our scroll decides to explain what al tikri means. Remember, we have the verse Torah tziva lanu Moshe Marasha kilot Yaakov, and it says don't read a Marasha. We're going to change God's words. Don't read it one way, read it this way. So he says the expression al tikri is not intended as an emendation of the text, but simply as a homiletical device. Since the words are written in the Torah without vowels, they can be expounded homiletically according to the vowelization that differs from the traditional concept. In this instance, the device establishes a link between the concept of betrothal and Torah. You understand? So when it says, like we do this every Friday night, al tikrei banecha ela benotecha, I forget the, don't say your children, but say rather your builders, something like that. Okay? Banayich ela bonach, whatever. And again, that's the same sort of thing. The verse says what the verse says. But because we can change the vowels, because it's written without vowels, so we can change it, we can see how the vowels is, so that's how we can read it. Fine. Habal al achoto b'chalom. One who cohabits with a sister in a dream. Yitzapeh l'chachma. He can anticipate wisdom. Shnei Mars, it says in Proverbs, Emor l'chachma achotiyat. Say to wisdom, you are my sister. Haba al eshet ish b'chalom. One who cohabits with a married woman in the dream, Muvtachu shelo ben olam haba, is assured that he is destined for the world to come. Hanimili, this word only applies to lo yadala, where he does not know her, lo hihor ba me'orta, and had not thought of her in the night before he went to sleep. In other words, if you thought of this married woman, and then you had yourself a dream that you're cohabiting with her, then you're just basically a Russia. Okay, let's understand something. You had a fantasy, and it's not a good thing to do, and get over it. But if you never saw the woman, how you know she's a married woman, I don't know, but if you, apparently that was known in the dream. So then, that's coming to the world to come. Why? This image symbolizes that in the world to come, the person will not only attain his own share of the reward, but even a share of that by rights should have gone to someone else. However, the other person fell short of achieving it, and it was transferred to the dreamer itself. So that's the married woman. Yeah.
So all these things, or at least the list I said so far, have been, if you do it in real life, it's seen in the Torah as bad.
No, if you do it in real life, you are such a Russian, not even funny. Go ahead.
So if you do something bad in the dream, is that, I mean, if you do something good in a dream, like, giving tzedakah, is that
That'll be good.
Okay, that's still good.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's going on here is, again, all these things, having relations with the mother, the betrothed Nara, the sister, and so on. All those married women, all those. If you do it, you're going to get death. I mean, it's not a good situation in reality. So what happens? What the Gemara is saying is connecting it to something else, saying, oh, so you're going to get understanding or whatever the particular thing was, and it's turning it to a good. The strange thing is that only when it comes to the married woman does the Gemara say it's somebody you don't know. Obviously, you can't say about your mother or your sister or your betrothed. You do know those people, but here it's saying if it's somebody that you know, that means you're fantasizing, which is not a good thing. Okay, she's a married woman, she's off limits. But if for some reason you're dreaming, and we discussed this last week actually, and said for some reason you know in your mind that she's a married woman, you don't know who she is, but you know she's a married woman. That's what's coming through your brain. So then, okay, so you don't have to see it again. If I was Freud, or if I was part of that group, I would see these dreams in a whole different light. Okay, that's a whole different light. Then you start. That's what the what do they call it? No. That's what do you call it when you want to relate with your mother? I forget what you call it. What is it?
Greek guy.
I forget what it's called. Yeah, I forget what it's called. Yeah. So, but he would come up with the whole thing, and you're a mama's boy, and blah 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 blah. But here the Gemara is saying a total different thing. Okay. But if you're certainly seeing something good, you're doing good.
Right.
Nothing wrong. If you see yourself giving tzedakah, means you'll be able to give tzedakah. Hashem will give you money to give tzedakah with.
So what if you're doing something bad?
So then you have to, again, if it's bad, so then if there's something connected to good, you're going to go on to go good with it. Remember, the dream follows interpretation. Right. We can never forget what the Gemara starts with. So it's going for the good. If I see myself doing something that is bad, but I can turn to good, I will turn to good. If I can't, by the way, of course, you never say your dreams out, because that's just not a good thing to do. If it's a bad dream, because that could, if somebody listens to it, they may interpret it badly, and then you're in trouble, because the dream follows interpretation. Okay, so the Gemara expounds on shares the dream. Agricultural products. So Amar Rav Chia bar Ava haroa chitem v'chalom. Sees witness dream ra'a shalom. He has seen peace. He'll behold peace. Shneimar, it says, Sam gavulech shalom. It is he who makes your borders peaceful. Chelev chitem yasbeich. With the cream of wheat, he satisfies you. So he says the verse associates peace with an image that involves wheat. Okay, fine. And here the association between the concepts is a phonetic one. The verses, words, Vesar avanecha, your iniquity is left, sounds similar to the word for barley, sa'orim. Okay, Sa'ar avanecha, sa'orim. Okay, I'm sure it sounded... I don't know why it sounds the same to them. To me, it doesn't sound the same. Okay, then it says, Amar Rav Zera. So Rav Zera said, Ana lo salki bim Bavel the Eretz Yisrael. I did not go down from Bavel to the land of Israel. Ad dechazai sa'are chelm, until I saw the favorable sign of barley in the dream, taking the sign. So this Maharsha says, Avnei Ezra says this, taking this as a sign that he had achieved a new level of purity. He now felt worthy of living in the elevated spiritual environment of the land of Israel. Ascend. I said descend. I knew something was wrong there. Because you ascend from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael. Because Eretz Yisrael is higher. Bavel's in the valley. More than that, even if it's not in the valley, even if it's not. What?
Bavel's in the north now.
Even if it's not in the valley. Okay. So what happens is, we say Eretz Yisrael is the highest, spiritually the highest place you can go. So you want to ascend spiritually. That's why we're always making aliyah, right? Regardless of where we're coming from, we're always making aliyah. Okay, because you want spiritually we're there. It's interesting. Somebody just asked me because they're having some sort of get together, I guess, in Israel. Some rabbis want to get all the rabbis to come to Israel. So they asked me if I'm going. I said no, I'm going. So they said why? I said because I don't get anything from it. I said Eretz Yisrael. I said, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't feel spiritually greater going there. And I remember when I went there, I love the country because you feel like you're home. Okay, that's the only country that I ever went to that I felt like I feel in Massachusetts. Namely, I'm home because I grew up in Massachusetts. So when I would cross borders, even from here to Indiana to all these places, I never. Well, now it's the other way. Now when I see Indiana, I say Baruch Hashem, I'm home because my family is here. But in those days, I would be traveling from Amherst, wherever I was coming from, all over the United States. And I would finally see Massachusetts, just cross the border. Oh, Hashem, I'm home. Yeah. When I flew into Eretz Yisrael, and I remember landing in Ben Gurion, and I got out, and I saw the land, I said, you know what? I'm home. Yeah. I felt that way. I felt I was home. But somebody, an Israeli later on, 4 weeks later, 3 weeks later, would ask me how long I'm staying. I said, I'm leaving. He said, why? I said, 'cause it's time. He said, but we want you to stay. I said, I can't stay. You don't know how to clean your bathrooms. You know? But the guy said, no, really, what's the problem? I said, because it's no longer, it's not the Holy Land to me. It's just not the land. You guys killed it. You guys made it to secular. When you think of Israel, when I thought of Israel, I thought of a holy land. I thought of a land that's going to bring you up, and so on and so forth. So when it didn't do that, I was disappointed. I love the... Oh, that's me? Okay, great. I love the land. I think everywhere should go, and so on and so forth. And I think we should all move there, no question. But the way that the secular society has run it, they've taken away that which made it so precious to us, that which we fought for so many years. And that's why I think, that's why I think that when it comes to religious, to Zionists in general, that they missed the boat. They lost that. When it came to religious Zionists, they got too involved in the money, which is why they lost it. But when you can say Reish Smicha Gud Latin all day long, it's the beginning of the footsteps of Mashiach all day long. I don't mind. But it's like I said, I think they ruined what they were trying to do, which is why the people were so much against Zionism. I think. Because they rushed it, and we weren't ready. We're not ready. And the truth is, we're still not ready, and that's why we're not going. It's not because the Mashiach didn't come, it's because we're not ready for it. We refuse to be, we're comfortable here, and that's a bad thing too, but we're comfortable, but more than that, we're not, I don't think spiritually we're ready to go to make it truly our home anymore. I think we're stuck in the muck and the mire here, and like I said, it's a personal thing. When I went there, I didn't feel it. For 1 second, I remember I felt sad that I didn't realize when I was sitting by the kotel that I didn't realize what one door was. I felt sad. Here's my history, and I don't understand what's going on here. That was sad, and maybe I would have stayed longer. Maybe I would have been.
How long were you there?
I was only there for 4 weeks, but maybe if I would have stayed longer and I would have gone past the hump I had there, maybe I would have felt different. I don't know, but and I said, I'm going to come back. And it took. That's a lie. We never, one trip, and then if you're lucky, you make it back. Yeah.
They made the Eretz Yisrael to the state of Israel.
That's what I'm saying. They went from Eretz Yisrael to the state of Israel, and they secularized it, and it's a modern state, and that's what I'm saying. It for me. I'm not saying for everybody. Obviously there are people who love Eretz Yisrael, Medina Yisrael, whatever you want to call it, and they go, and I have no problem with it. What I'm saying is what they lost what the attraction was,
Well,
and what the attraction continues to be for certainly visitors is the holiness of the land.
Yeah. But you're talking, the government was secularized, and that was from day one. But
Right.
the seriously religious who go there certainly don't feel like that. And that's what I picked up
Good.
on the first time I went there. I said, wow. I told my wife the second day, I'm ready to move.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I didn't feel that. And I
Maybe
felt
you would now, though.
maybe, I don't know, maybe it could be. But like I said, I don't. For me, when people say you have to go to Israel to be inspired, my response is no. I don't have to go there to be inspired. I have to open up a Chumash to be inspired. I have to open up a Gemara to be inspired. I'm not inspired by the land because the land is land.
Yeah.
The land is here. The land is here. We're still, and that's, by the way, why they say people, even our Israel, are still in Galus. They're still in Galut. I mean, you're closer to home than you ever would be, but we're still in this spiritual Galut.
You know, we visit our friends in Beit El, which is in Samaria, the Shomron, right? And then they say. So what I learned is the second trip, Judea and Samaria, as they say, as others will call the West Bank.
Right.
That's the heartland. That's a whole mountain ridge, that whole trail there. Was it Derech HaAvot? The people that live there. I mean, again, these are not Haredim.
Right.
They're devoutly religious.
Correct.
You know, and they wear clothes like this every day. And don't wear the black suit, black hat. And they're there because they feel that we're living in the heartland. That's why they want to be in Judea and Samaria.
Okay.
It's wow.
Again, I'm not for those who have reconnected and have made it. I have all the respect for, and I think it's great. I think everybody. If my wife, when my mother died, I said it many times. My mother died. I said I came home after Shiva to here, and I said to my wife, I'm ready to make Aliyah. I no longer care about staying in the United States of America. I'm through. My mother's passed away, and that's the end of it. I have no connection here anymore. Even though I have family here, I'm through. I'm ready to go. If you want to go, we'll make Aliyah today. Today. Pack it up and move. She said, no. Okay, fine. But I meant it. I meant it with Kolev. For Kolev, I would have gone. And to this day, again, I still feel the same way. I'll go, but not because of, and maybe it's my maturity level at this point. It's no longer because I believe that there's a spiritual connection that I have to it. It's just my homeland.
Yeah.
And, and I know that America ultimately, regardless of who the president or vice president or Congress is, it's not a great situation. It's going to be like Europe pretty soon, God forbid. And we should get out. If the state's there, why not go and become part of it and then change it from within? Change it from within. Make it more what I want to be. That means you have to get involved. That means you have to, It's easy to complain while I'm here in America, in South Bend, Indiana, doing nothing. I'm not dealing with the struggles that they deal with. But if I'm there and I have to struggle, so then I have every right to say what I'm going to say too. And I have every right to say, let's have this vision and let's do this and let's do this and let's do this. And you have like-minded people. By the way, this is what should happen here too. With all the people who are yelling left and right about Trump or Hillary and everybody else, if they would have just gone to the polls, it would have changed everything.
It said that 47% of those eligible to vote did not vote. 47%.
47%. So but by the way, we have probably the largest turnout for years.
Yes.
Going.
Yep.
And they spoke their mind. So I mean, again, you have to just know what you want to do with that. Okay. Let's just continue with this a little. Oh God, I have still time. So yeah. So it says, Amar Rav Zera. I said that, I'm sorry. Right? I just said it. One who sees a vine laden with grapes in a dream has seen an omen that Ein Ish Mapel in the Phelim. His wife will not bear stillborn children. Shanam Marza says, Eshecha kegefim poria. Your wife will be like a fruitful vine. So Reka, if he sees a branch of vine in his dream, Yitzapel Mashiach. He may expect the coming of the Mashiach. Now, when you see the branch of the vine tonight, because you are going to go to sleep.
I was going to say, if anyone dreams about anything, it's because you read the book.
Right, you heard the Gemara. So any of these dreams you have today, just forget it. It's down the line. So Shneimar, as it says, Ushri legefen iro v'lasreika bini otono. He will tie his donkey to the vine, and the vine branch to his donkey's fold. Haro'et te'ena v'chalom. If he sees a fig in his dream, he can be assured that Torato mishtameret b'kirbo. His Torah will be safeguarded within him. He will not forget this knowledge, as it says. Shneimar says, notes te'ena yochal peria. The protector of a fruit tree will eat its fruit. Rimonim. So one who sees a pomegranate in his dream. So what happens? Zutri. Oh, so if the pomegranate was small, pre-iske kirimone, it means his business will become fruitful like a pomegranate. Rav Rave, let's say the pomegranate is large. Rave iske kirona. That means his business will increase like a pomegranate. What does that? All these things mean? What's in a pomegranate? Everybody ever open up a pomegranate? You have a lot of these seeds there, right?
Yeah.
So so let's go back to that. So if it's small, what it means? It'll become fruitful like a pomegranate. So it'll have a lot of stuff. And I see here. And if it's big, so then it'll increase like a pomegranate. No, either way, it's going to be good for you. Yeah.
A pomegranate is about the size of an orange, right? It's about the size of your fist.
Okay. Go for it.
I don't know. So, in the land of Israel, they said all the fruit was bigger than normal.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
So
they said
how much bigger?
So they said when they were carrying the fruit back from Eretz Yisrael, that it was gigantic. That they took 12 people to carry a grapevine or something. Ooh. So again, why you ask? Your real question is, wait a second. If it took 12 people, so then one pomegranate should take whatever. And why don't we see that today? Really, that's your question.
No, like how big is big?
I'm just telling you. They said originally it took 10 people, so 12. It took 8 people to carry one piece of fruit. I mean, it was a big. They were. You want to say it's an exaggeration, maybe, but it's apparently it was. Fruits were very big, and they shrunk down over the times. Yeah, that was just a crazy crop they had.
Giant pumpkins.
Huh? Giant pumpkin, right?
Have you seen them? But also, giant pumpkin seeds are just like normal seeds. They're not giant seeds. They're normal seeds.
Yeah, so.
I mean,
the seed they weren't bringing home the seed. They were bringing home the fruit.
Bringing home the fruit, but the pomegranate you eat the seed.
Okay, so they didn't bring home a pomegranate. By the way, they brought other stuff. They were bringing grapevines and so on and so forth. But whatever it was big fruit. But here, a big pomegranate. By the way, if you look and you can see some fruits are very big, some fruits are very small. I mean, that's on a tree. You have big apples, you have small apples. So we're looking at a normal size fruit. We're not looking at a midrashic fruit. We're looking at a normal size. So if it's a small pomegranate, then that means your business will be successful, become fruitful like a pomegranate. If you see a gigantic one, it means it'll increase. You already have a successful one, now it's going to increase like the pomegranate. Palge, on the other hand, let's say you see a split pomegranate. Im Talmud Chacham, who, if he's a Talmud Chacham, so Yitzhak the Torah, he can anticipate that he's going to further his Torah knowledge. And Emma says, I will give you drink from spiced wine and from the fruits of my pomegranates. Which means spiced wine is exegetically seen as a reference to the Talmud, a tome spiced with the Mishnah interspersed within it. Okay, since one splits a pomegranate to extract its juice, the juxtaposition of concepts in the verse signifies an association between split pomegranates and the Torah. On the other hand, let's say he's v'yema artsu. Let's say he is an ignoramus. He is not a scholar. Yisapel mitzvot. So if he sees the split pomegranate, so he can anticipate that he will merit to perform any mitzvot. How do we know? Shneimar kapela harimon rachatech. Like a section of pomegranates are your temples, concerning which we expound the following. Ma rachatech. What is the implication of the unusual word your temples? Ayat rachatech. Afilu reikanan shabach maleim mitzvot krimonim. We have a very beautiful drasha here that even the empty ones, the reikanan, the empty ones among you are as full as mitzvot as a pomegranate is full of seeds. In other words, there's no Jew that doesn't have mitzvot. The biggest ignoramus will have plenty of mitzvot that they're doing because the Torah is so easy to fulfill. I mean, think about it. I walk down the street and I don't pick a flower. I have fulfilled the mitzvah of do not steal.
Like hitting the broadside of a barn.
Say again?
Hitting the broadside of a barn is not that hard. Hitting the broadside of a barn is not that hard.
Right, hitting the broadside. Right. Okay, then you also have somebody says something to me and I can respond with lashon hara and I don't. I got a mitzvah. It's really not hard. And by the way, the ignoramus, we're not talking about a bore. We're saying Amma Arts. And the Amma Arts is a person who, just what we call today an ignoramus. Even the ignoramus is taught by his parents. If you have nothing good, right? If you have nothing good to say say nothing at all. We're all taught that as a young kid, that you don't want. Why should you insult somebody? So that's why even as an Am Haaretz, I'm going to have a lot of things. Seichel, using my God-given brain, as I like to say to my students, use your God-given brains. But all those things normally will have you do mitzvah without you knowing it. And in order to get credit, per se, for the mitzvah, I don't have to know that it's a mitzvah. Because I don't have to do l'shem shamayim. I don't do everything I'm doing. I make a bracha on the food, okay? Because I was trained to make a bracha. I know it's a mitzvah to make a bracha and so on and so forth. So I do that. But it's if I don't murder somebody. It's also common sense not to murder or not to steal, all these things. But now the problem is what happens when we in the old days. I don't know if you saw payphones, right? You've seen payphones. So do they still take coins? Well, they only take charge cards now. They still do coins? Okay. In the old days, all these machines, they had a coin return. So people would always like to go through, boom, 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 coin return. Every once in a while you get a dime from that, or whatever you get, okay?
Somebody left some change.
Whatever it's going to be, okay, every once in a while. And so the question always became, from a Torah point of view, do I have the right to do that? Aren't I stealing from the company?
But if somebody, if the last person put a coin in and he gave him a dial tone, he made this call and left, but the machine malfunctioned and it dropped that coin back when the guy hit the button on it or something. So what? Then it belongs to the phone company or whoever.
Right. So I'm saying. What are you getting involved?
If the guy forgot to take his change, if he
even there, who says yours? It's
his. He walked away. He gave up on it.
You want to say he doesn't know he gave it up. He doesn't know he gave it up. If I lose something, if I lose something and I don't know I lost it yet, I can't be mafkir it. I can't say it's ownerless. So now when you find it, you're responsible to hold it for me till I come back.
You don't know, right?
Now the only difference,
I left the change. I'm not going back to get it though.
By the way, the only difference would be that in a coin, there's no way for me to mark it. So it's good. But I'll give you an example. We left some French fries. We went shopping. We went to Saturday night. We went out. We got something to eat. Then we brought it back because the kids couldn't finish it. Okay, we put it in the refrigerator. And then what happens? We left and we forgot in the house. Okay, we called the people up. Said, "It's yours." Because really, what happens is if they would have found it. Just halachically for a second. If they would have found, we had it wrapped up. It was clearly not theirs. And we were the only ones. So they would have had Hashem Saved and so on and so forth. So by calling, so they couldn't eat from it. If they did, they would be stealing. So by calling them up to say it's hefker. Gesundheit, we give it to you. That's in that way they can throw it out. They can do what they want with it. Okay, who cares what they're going to do? But that is part of the process. So if I see the guy walking down the street and I saw he was right before me and in the coins, I'm responsible to say, hey, excuse me. Boom, here you go. I'm responsible. I can't say, oh, fine, let's keep eating. I can't do that. But here, now this would also be interesting. Let's say I put money in the machine, and I put money in. I knew I was going to get change. Fine. So what happens is the change comes down, and I grab it, and I didn't realize the other guy left the change there. Put it in my pocket. Am I responsible? The answer is no. Again, he can't. I didn't know he lost it. He didn't know he lost it. I don't know we don't know what happened. It could have been 3 years ago that he lost it. So, all those things come into it, but that's this person, if he would have said, he would have realized conscious change. Oh, mister, excuse me, he gets a mitzvah. I mean, think about that. So easy to get the mitzvah. Yeah.
Drinking blood.
Sorry?
Drinking blood from a live animal. Every second.
Not drinking blood.
You're not drinking. Every second you're not doing it, so you're getting mitzvah.
No, it has to be there. I'll give you an example of every second mitzvah. If I put a mezuzah up in my house, every second I have it up, according to what I heard on the internet just recently. I'm not sure how true it is, but every second I'm getting a mitzvah. Okay, that's continual. The fact that I'm not drinking blood, I don't have blood to drink. It's not a continual mitzvah. Okay, we'll have to stop here.
Yeah.